has a history dating back 1600 years. Breathtaking scenery, miles of golden sandy beaches, glorious summer sunshine, and some of the finest hotels in the UK. Newquay, quite simply, has it all. Even a tiny harbour where once vast pilchard shoals provided a lucrative haul. But like all good things, they've now gone. And although the fishing industry still thrives, tourism is the main priority. Newquay's popularity is renowned throughout the world, and the town now figures in the UK's top 5 holiday destinations. However, holding their own against some pretty stiff opposition means Newquay has to keep up with the times. And the goal these days is to attract major events to keep the town firmly on the map. And Fred Jackson of Newquay First has no doubts OCR powerboat racing is right for the job.
This is a wonderful event, and I've been itching to get this over on this coast, and I think the drivers are all looking forward to it. It's a new experience. They don't know what the water's going to be like out here. They've heard all sorts of rumours, but we think it's going to be a great day.
No doubting the enthusiasm and commitment there. So how do the competitors see it?
Brilliant venue. I mean, we've got the weather as well. We've got good facilities, a nice harbour to launch in. Everybody, that we've met so far has really made us welcome. I think it's a superb venue.
And Adi, what do you reckon to the course?
I like the course, yeah, nice and short. It's going to be a power course, get the torque down, get moving. But hopefully it'll run well for us. A lot of laps involved, but we'll go for it, boot down, all the way.
Excellent place, yeah. Even though I've lived in the West Country all my life, and it's certainly the second time I've ever been down here, and it is a superb venue.
Day. And I think it's a first for Newquay, and we have to thank Newquay First for doing it. Wonderful, wonderful. Good luck.
A resort then with all the credentials. An estimated 30,000 people in town to witness a Newquay First. The crews head for the briny. We take a look at how they finished up in '95. In A, Nick Barsh and Peter Anstice readjusted the crown that slipped in '94, while the Blackers who pipped them on that occasion stuttered uncomfortably one rung down. In B, the flamboyant Ian Sanderson and fellow actor Paul Scott took centre stage with a minimum of rehearsals, hardly got a line wrong. Rob Hunt and Dave Leach waited in the wings, but it was always a supporting role. And in C, Ian Attlee reenacted a slightly more dangerous performance. Aided and abetted by Bruce Mortwood, they dared to snatch the title from Ian's wife Sharon on the last night. Very risky. All that was last year. We're about to get underway with this year. Racing about to get underway. Before that, though, we're with a notable absentee, talking about his new boat.
It's built by Phantoms. It's a boat which falls between the successful 18 and the 20. They've been developing it during the winter, and I've been a little bit involved with that, so I'm looking forward to getting hold of that. We're hoping to, the idea being to keep the speed of the 18 but have the reach of the 20, and if we're successful, I should be a very happy man. But as you know, boats are funny things, and no doubt it'll take a while to set up, but certainly I hope to be out and test that and prove it.
But not on the water today. The rest are, and they're underway. Streaming towards the first turn, speeds already in excess of 70 miles per hour, and less than a second separating the top 7. That's Blacker, number 14, needs victory here if he's to mount a serious early challenge to the title he won in '94. But he won't be first to the mark, because that's Ian Sanderson. Wilcock and Baker outside him. Blacker and Sterling inside, with first round winner Martin Rendell tucked in behind. Top shot of Ian Sterling, sporting his new Caracal colours and in form. 4th in the Isle of Wight, 5th here. But these two beginning to edge away. Blackett there for a moment, looked to have his nose in front, but if it wasn't for long. Sanderson reaffirms his early superiority, tucks into Mark 2, keeps it tight, minimises Blacker's opportunities, and heads for Mark 3. Bob Baker and Kevin Hoare say Mark. This is for 3rd, but dropping back slightly. And under pressure, that's why Dave Wilcock, interlinked just to the right of his wash, about 3 boat lengths adrift. Oh, and out goes Bob Reed at number 5. His misery continues with the Argo. Up front, Baker right, Blacker left, and here comes Sanderson. He'll get to Mark 7 first. Does so now. Blacker keeps Baker wide on the right-hander, but there's a left-hander coming up. No such problems for Sanderson. Clear water ahead for the 1995 B-Class champion. So, Blacker with a slight dilemma, technically on the wrong side of Baker for the left hand, may go wide and try the inside cut. Taking a look, certainly. Sanderson, Baker, and there is Blacker. Lovely use of the cut there, should keep him second. But Bob Baker applying all the pressure with co-driver Kevin Hoare, finished third in 95. Neil Puan, though, so far in 96. And the same goes for Sanderson. In fact, none of the top three here have scored in round one. And here comes Baker. He's on the wrong side, so it shouldn't be a problem to Blacker. And it isn't. In fact, Blacker's come out of that rather well. Sanderson extremely sloppy there, leaving a huge gap. Blacker was through, but once more, it wasn't for long. Sanderson bites the bullet and goes back in front. St. Markner still streaming through. Rendell, the black boat, leads Mark Priestley, the white. And number 12 behind them, Steve Masterman, 6th, 7th and 8th at the positions. Further back, this is B, up to 1300cc. 95 runner-up and first round winner Bob Hunt, 52, with a 4-second advantage over 33. But we're back with the leaders, up to 2 litre, and the wash on the left of Blacker tells us I suspect he's still second, and with his hands full. Coming again to the mark, once again it's an economic line he takes. He's so good in these conditions, but not good enough. Sanderson, also a lover of the choppy conditions, still leads. Back now with Sterling, yet another example of the new aggressive approach. Having to fight here, though, to keep the boat under control, and in 5th place. Well, much here for the spectators to enjoy, offshore as well as onshore. And here they come again, overall leaders. Sanderson still keeping clear of the tremendous scrap between Blacker and Baker. And you have to say this is some performance in only his second A-class race. He leads a vastly more experienced pair. Let's not forget Dave Wilcock, number 6, third in round one. 4 points to Spoils there, and more useful points here, if he can hold on to his 4th. End of lap coming up. 10 of the 48 miles completed. And once again, Blacker steals a few metres on Sanderson, and he might have the edge here. The top shot showing the determination. And that's the result, and the experience I would suggest. Similar boats, but Blacker now, correct side for the next mark. Should get clear. Sanderson with a better line this time, but it's too late. The Reading man goes clear for the first time. Bob Baker can only watch the proceedings from astern, concerned I'm sure. He won't want Blacker to get too far ahead. And of course, the small matter of Dave Wilcock right up behind. Back at the start-finish line, number 9 lies second in the 1300cc division. Only 15 feet long, the boats here, 18 to 21 in A-class. So this is tough on the driving and tough on the back. Our first look at the Rendell brothers, number 10, second in round one, and still just ahead of number 12, Steve Masterman. The battle's for 6th, and it's spine-jarring. And only 9th for first-round winners Andy and Graham Gittings. Mechanical problems surely. Almost a lap down already on the lead. There's Gittings, and Baker's moved up to second, I think. No sign of Sanderson. Blacker cuts tight to the mark and hits it. Almost rolls, but recovers, and that could be costly. Baker will have enjoyed that. Into the next mark. Gittings will hold him up here, I think. Where's Baker? There's Gittings. And there's Blacker. A mighty burst here to pass the first-round winners. So he gets to the mark ahead of Baker. Gittings slipped through, and there was Baker, in fact. So, number 50, unable to take advantage of the error from number 14. And Gittings on the inside track, still causing Blacker problems on an afternoon when nothing in the top 5 comes easy. Sanderson, like the rest, finding it tough going now. The course certainly getting lumpier, and life in amongst the back markers here is not for the faint-hearted. But Blacker still the man in charge. The lead over Baker has never been more than 50 metres, and here in the traffic, that means precious little. And Steve Masterman becomes the latest victim of the leading duo. He's yet another of the relative newcomers having a rough time here. This is third overall, and it's Dave Wilcock, so he's also past Sanderson. In fact, there is Sanderson beginning to tire, and after an early lead, this is now fourth. Fifth for Sterling, well clear of Rendland sixth, but with his hands full, keeping everything the right way up. C42, and that's Kevin Polkinghorne. He leads that division. And another masterly performance here. Blacker heads into his final circuit with a lead of around 10 seconds now over Baker, and should cruise it from here. And that's the measure of the task ahead of Baker for the next 2.5 miles. 10.41 seconds the current deficit. Silver surely now. That's Hunt, still ahead of Attlee and B. Oh, there is Attlee. Best part of a minute down though. And looking out onto the far side of the course, the halfway point on Blacker's last lap, and that's certainly not him, and that most certainly is. So just over a mile to go for new co-driver Stuart Porter to record his first points for the ex-champion, and looking quite relaxed about it there. And a good shot of the conditions, pretty much the same over the whole course now, no doubt in my mind deteriorating as the race has progressed. It's been a testing day, that's for sure. No more so than here. Bob Baker may feel that with a bigger and heavier boat, he might have been in front. But not so. Blacker holds that honour and that lead. There's Baker in the background. So just under half a mile stands between Blacker and his first win of the year. And you have to say, it will probably be the first of many. Into the final mark and down the home straight for the 21st time, coming up to 48 minutes since the start of the 48-mile race, so it's simple enough. 16 miles per hour is the average. And in these conditions, taking into account 7 turns on each lap, that's well over 70 miles an hour down the straights. So this has been some performance from Blacker, and perhaps an indication of how tough a season it will be. He's certainly affected by the cynics, who claim he won his 1994 title more by default than result. This could well be the year when all that's laid to rest. Bob Baker then takes runner-up slot, 6 points. And how valuable they might be in the final reckoning. Dave Wilcock should be next over the line. Oh, there he is. Over a minute down, but nevertheless confirming himself as a true contender in the championship. And the results overall, Blacker and Baker open their scoring in a season which will surely see many such scraps. Dave Wilcock emerges as a true bet for honours, while first-round winners the Gittings brothers have much to do. Line honours in B went to Rob Hunt, and in C to Kevin Polkinghorne. And that's it from Newquay, Cornwall. Some great action and some breathtaking scenery. We're in Southend-on-Sea, and it's official. This is the longest pier in the world. The famous TV classic Minder used it, and 1 or 2 ships have not surprisingly gone through it. Southend-on-Sea, though, is that sort of place. The ultimate venue for the ultimate day trip. If you can fit it all in, that is. Especially today with 40 extra boats in town for the 5th round of the British Offshore Circuit Racing Championships. 3 winners in 4 races has set the stage nicely for another nail-biting season. But that's the way OCR is, on one of the most unpredictable racing surfaces in the world. Top of this season's pile is Ian Blacker.
There's a lot of quick boats now. There's Nick with his new boat. He had handling problems last weekend, which he's probably going to sort it out. Mick Archer with the Hydrolift, very quick boat, and Bob Reeder with the Argos, which is a very quick boat. So I think they're going to be the main contenders. You've also got Bob Baker, who's very quick when it's choppy, which the prediction is. So it's going to be quite a race.
With 95 champion Nick Barsh playing catch-up already in his new boat, you might be forgiven for thinking 96 would be a good deal easier. Bob Baker, however, doesn't agree.
Well, obviously with Nick not having really been around so far this year, we've had the other competition to consider, and over the last couple of years there's been 6 or 7 boats, and I think this year it could be anything up to 10 boats that could actually win a race now. And the aspect of Nick not being there makes it easier from the point of view that there's just one less boat there to worry about.
Wise words. The growth in OCR popularity has brought with it a new aggressive approach, although for Mark Greenaway, as yet, no luck.
We've had a lot of bad luck so far this season. We've had engine problems. We had a new engine this season, but the engine hasn't been coming up to the right performance, and we're now running a new engine this weekend to see if it's going to make any difference. It looks like so far this season I've been jinxed, but today we'll see.
The transition from co-driver to driver is something many have aimed to achieve. From world success in one seat, Stuart Porter has now moved over to the other, but knows it won't be easy.
Well, it's not too bad. We haven't had a lot of time in the boat at the moment. There's various problems, setup problems we've had. Found it a very hard transition going from navigator to the driving, but I think we'll get there in the end. It's just this year, just a year of getting everything sorted out, get the team together and go forward for next year, really.
Where do you expect to finish today?
Anywhere. I don't care. As long as I finish upright and dry, I don't mind, really.
16 laps, 55 miles is the challenge, and 32 boats champing at the bit, awaiting the flag. And there it is. On board with Mark Greenaway, A20 found himself a bit of space early on here, but not for long, I would suggest. Speed around 70 miles an hour as he and the rest head towards the pier on lap 1. And absolutely nothing between the top 10 when that bend straightens out, I'll tell you. And there they are, Rendell, Blacker, Baker and Bosch. Rendell beginning to pull away on the run-in. Blacker, though, on the comeback, picks it up, takes Baker with him, just out of shot. There's Baker. And Archer, well, an absolutely stunning burst from the number 60, came from nowhere. That's on board with Wilcock, 9th for the Interlift driver, well boxed in here, plenty to do already for him. Leader at the pier, and Archer's blown it, that's mega wide. Blacker's through, Rendell through, and so is Baker. So, Archer goes from 1st to 4th, Blacker 3rd to 1st, and Rendell stays 2nd. St. Mark on board with Porter, he's 9th. Wilcock moving up already, pushing his old co-driver back, but it's all a lottery in the spray. One slip in this cauldron, and you're under. Mark 3, lap 1, Blacker from Rendell. Archer back to 3rd on the outside. Baker 4th, coming through on the inside. Close up on Blacker with his new co-driver, Stuart Porter. Lots of experience in there, and that's a game where it counts. Martin Rendell, Kevin Rendell, rookies 12 months ago, but not anymore. 5th in the championship. Wilcock on the charge, was 9th. Apparently now this is 6th. A touch under 80 miles per hour. Flying on the edge, they call it, and you can see why. Archer now closing down on Rendell. The white hydrolift in 3rd. Flighty bit quick with a chance, and takes it. Greenaway dropping back though, some way behind. Porter in 9th now. And some way in front, 14, Ian Blacker, championship leader, loves these choppy conditions. 300 metres up on Rendell and Archer. Well, there they are. Well, when almost were. That was mighty close. Well, they're apart now, and Baker coming in to join the fun. Blacker's Warsaw still well ahead. And I do believe that's Wilcock screaming up on the inside, and if that's the case, it's remarkable. 9th off the line, now it's 5th. That's the view from behind. Julian Abbott holding on just, but they're slowly getting away. Back to 2nd and 3rd, and Rendell Black number 10 giving Archer a wide berth now. There's a surprise. Archer, of course, never one to sell himself short on the track. Neither's Blacker. Won the championship with his brother in 94, lost it to Bosch in 95. This year looks better, as it does for the Rendells, of course. And a first look at the day at Ian Sterling. The extravagant colours have sponsored Caracal for him this year. And the leading lady of the day, Odette Pedell, co-driving for Mark Priestley in 16, loads of dough. He's a Baker. And another man using his loaf, Dave Wilcock, tucked in 4th now. Awaits the opening past Rendell and Archer just ahead, but that might be tricky. End of lap for Blacker, 10 of the 55 miles completed. He eases it up a bit. The lead considerable in OCR terms over Rendell 10, who has temporarily disposed of Archer, it would appear. Wilcock now round the mark in a bid for third coming up, but blows it! Well, that's sunk all right. Wilcock's gone. The onboard camera amazingly survives what must have been an 80-mile-an-hour crash there. Well, it'll be helmets off and abandoned ship, I would suggest. A lot of water would have gone in the boat. Dave Wilcock absolutely gutted. And prepares to leave his stricken craft. Water getting deeper and deeper inside. And the early bath coming up here. And as far as I can recall, that's the first time in his powerboat career. Dave Wilcock has to swim to safety. Back up front, and it's Blacker versus Archer, so Rendell must have been third. And Archer all over the place here. Went for the long fast turn, but it could have been his last. Blacker, quick look over the shoulder, makes a run for it, and that might be significant. Well, safety in some numbers around Wilcock and Cotton, including Mark Priestley stopping to assist. Both crew, though, appear to be perfectly okay. Quite a nice day for a swim, too. On a rerun now of Wilcock's acrobatics. Called a three-way stuff. Up on one, trip on two, and headlong into three. Well, that's what waves are for, and no doubt Wilcock and Cotton will testify, as many have before. The water's always harder than it looks. And the man who continues to make it all look so easy on the day, Ian Blacker, hits halfway. Fastest lap of 74.73 and 8 over 80 miles per hour, keeping him in control. Well, but not there. Exactly the spot that caught Wilcock. Almost takes Blacker as well. Back in control, though, pretty quickly. Thoughtful, though, now, surely. And under some pressure. Behind Archer, bobbing, twisting and weaving, is somewhere around 100 metres astern. And there is Archer. And the battle behind is between Rendell and Baker. Rendell with just the advantage in number 10 over the number 50. Back with Abbott, 2 marks back, he makes the turn, heads toward the pier, and it's getting tougher in there. And getting tougher on Rendell. Baker flies by and goes in search of Archer. What a scrap that might be. Ian Sterling now reaches halfway in 6th. And again at the spot where Wilcock floundered and Blacker might have, is forced to adjust, even with the big boat. But is surely down on power here. Last lap 66.38. compared with his average of 70.42. Meanwhile, we can go back and have another look at the little incident between Rendell in black and Archer in white, and that was mighty close. Still, just over 6 laps then to go for the leaders, and the crucial part of the proceedings comes right now, keeping the boat together and maintaining the concentration. And it's been just that for Mark Greenaway, cheesy as he's known, not because of his feet, I hasten to add. He's a cheese wholesaler. And here's Barsh, trips, and ouch! Well, the same spot trips another victim, and that one hurt. Doubtful, I would say, whether he and Anstis can continue after that. And in fact, Anstis looking in some pain in the back. That was a big impact. Well, Mark Greenaway will have seen that and reduced his knots accordingly, and very wise too. And the 95 champion there hoisting the surrender flag. Orange means no more, and that's a right decision. Well, back on the bottom, I think that's a jellyfish going past Dave Wilcock's boat. But this is Blacker in rampant form, still in front and oblivious, no doubt, to the proceedings elsewhere. Apart from behind. And that's why Rendell is back in front of Baker, but more to the point is attacking Archer. And once again, Archer all over the place. The hydrolift guaranteeing a lively ride, and he's certainly getting that. Same can be said of Mark Cook and Paul Davis, sponsors Watkins and Soul, position 7th. Not bad in your first year in this company. And moving back, this is for 8th, Rob McCarthy and Andy Nels, 91 far side, but John Boak, 63 near side, with the advantage into the mark. Top shot of CETA imaging, camera on the left-hand side of the boat there, and that's the picture it brings you. Let's go back to the slow-mo department, the reenactment of Barsh's exit. Well, not quite a 3-way, was it? More like a 2, up and in. Wouldn't mind seeing that again. It was certainly painful. Graham Hastings, number 3 now, A-class, lapping on the inside of 33 in C-class. That's up to 1300cc. They're also racing today. And that's the leader, Matt Shepherd, going a little wide there. He'll have to be careful, that's time lost. The second and third aren't that far behind. In fact, there they are. Sharon Attlee and Jackie Porter blue, Rod Baldwin and Gloria Stevenson black. Attlee just leads. Well, hooks about there and catches Baldwin midships. Well, no doubt he will say, women drivers, I'm keeping quiet. This is Sharon's husband Ian leading B. That's 1800cc with Bruce Mortwood, 36. The Scandinavian-built Tinterera won C-class last year. Behind them, 52, championship leader Bob Hunt finished second last year, aiming to go one better this year. 19 points he is, clear at the top overnight. And 200 metres clear here, Blacker still rules over Archer, who has once again intimidated Rendell back into third, or maybe even fourth now, with Blacker on the rampage. But no question, this is the performance of the day so far. Blacker and Porter head towards their final circumnavigation. And there's Baker. Now, is that third or fourth? Well, the picture in the wash would suggest, in fact, it's third for Baker there and fourth for Rendell. Just out of the points are consistently good Rob McCarthy and Andy Nelms, number 91, steadily getting more reliable. May well spoil a party or two before this season's end. As could Julian Abbott, the ex-co-driver. If nothing else, he's showing a deliberate pattern in his route to the top. And he's already been there. The 94 champion starts his final lap, will take 9 points and a 6-point lead in the table if things stay as they are. Well, this is Barsh one more time. Up, trip, and in, and that to me still looks like a two-way. But as they say in powerboating, it's not over till it's over. And this is Blacker. He continues to lap all but the top four. Just 2 miles to go now. Surely the gold is his. The reception committee awaits the helicopter and the checkered flag. So after almost 50 minutes of relentless pounding and pressure, Ian Blacker and Stuart Porter win the 5th round of the British Offshore Circuit Racing Championships and increase their lead at the top. And in their wash, the luckless McArcher and Colin Bowler signal a return to form that will hopefully breathe new season's hope from a disastrous beginning. And pegging away in third, lapping B-class winners Bob Hunt and Dave Leach, Bob Baker and Kevin Hoare. The best team never to win the championships, most say, and the only ones to finish runners-up on 6 occasions. And finally, Matt Shepherd, the youngest OCR driver, I think, takes his 4th win of the year in C. And so to the overall scores after 5, Blacker and Porter extend their lead to 6, while Wilcock and Gittins lose ground and Rendell sneaks in at 5. In B, Bob Hunt and Dave Leach are massive, 23 points up now on Nigel Belchamber and Vincent Rose, and 30 points ahead of Bruce Mortwood and Ian Attlee. Good enough, I would say. And it's similar in C, nothing sheepish about Matt Shepherd, 30 points up on Rod Baldwin, who in fairness was rather brushed aside by a lady driver. But she's like that, beware any man who stands in her way. That's it from a gloriously sunny Southend on a day that was gloriously entertaining. In the 1950s, the island government here passed a far-sighted legislation. It capped the number of tourist beds to around 5,000, banned vast campsites, holiday camps and hypermarkets, and left space to breathe and enjoy the seclusion of the many beaches and virtually crime-free environment. The Hotel de France is typical of the many top-class hotels here. It's the largest privately owned in Great Britain and boasts a star-studded guest list that's the envy of many throughout the world. But there's a slight change to the plan this weekend. Jersey plays host to the 9th and 10th rounds of the British Offshore Circuit Racing Championship. 30 top crews racing in A-class, up to 2 litre, B-class, 1.8 litre, and C-class, 1.3 litre. They compete in 2 races, sponsored by Oil Giants Total. The first of those races coming up, but first let's take a look at the state of play so far. In A, 1994 champion Ian Blacker with new co-driver Stuart Porter lead by only 5. 36 points out of a possible 72 shows exactly how tough it is this year. Group B, a totally different story. Bob Hunt still smarting after losing out on the title in the last race of last year. Has already made sure with 4 to go, he has it sewn up. Much the same in C, Matthew Shepherd ensuring he takes gold well before the season's finish line, leaving Jersey man Rob Baldwin and the all-girl crew of Sharon Attlee and Jackie Paul